Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel and thanks for stopping by. Today we're going to wrap up our review of 22nd Street Disc Golf Course here in Tampa, Florida. Let's get into it. Hole 10 is listed as a 600-foot par 4, though my Apex Disc Golf rangefinder tells me that it plays more like 525 feet. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Spin City Discs over in Sefner, Florida. If you happen to be local to the Tampa area, please stop by and check them out. It's a wonderful store. If not, there's a link below in the description, so that'll take you to their webpage. The only real trouble on this hole is early left and straight. You're going to have to travel about 350 feet to meet that rough up ahead, and any early release or late forehand is going to get you into the rough on the left. Ideal shot here is a big pushing hyzer that'll get you out to 350, leave you a nice open approach to the basket. Here is a dead straight shot, about 300 feet. Signage has it at 292 feet. Rangefinder said 297. So pretty accurate there. The only real danger on this hole is very thick rough to the right with a river beyond that. So your miss would be left. You have these big guardian oaks here to worry about, but generally a pretty straightforward hole. Let's play it. Moving on to hole 12, we find a 309-foot par 3. Rangefinder shoots at 314 feet, and a very technical straight gap. We also have a wide left gap for forehands or lefties, and a wide right gap as well. Let's see how we do. Here on hole 13, we find another pretty straight shot with lots of options. Forehand, backhand, whatever you prefer here. The only real danger is that same wood line with the river beyond it on our right side, so that doesn't really come to play until you get much closer to the basket. Hole 14 here, we find a relatively soft par 4 coming in at 460 feet on the tee sign. Rangefinder got it at 468 feet. There's a safe hyzer line around the right side, very aggressive lines up the middle. We are still following that thick wood line on the right with the river beyond it. There's a small creek that sometimes has casual water in it, sometimes it's dry beyond the basket, making for a tricky comeback putt. And more danger on the left as you approach the basket than there is on the right. Here on hole 15, we have a 262-foot par 3, though it does play slightly uphill. The rangefinder told me it was 264 feet plus just under 9 feet of elevation, meaning this is going to play a lot closer to 290, maybe even 300 feet. Only danger on this hole is right in front of you. These guardians and this little creek bed, which may or may not have standing water in it, If it does, it's casual. The river and the thick woods are behind us, so no lost disc potential on this hole. Hole 16 finds us at another par 3. This one 343 feet according to the sign. Rangefinder says 348 feet. You're going to find a pretty wide, generous tunnel, though there is a low ceiling and quite a few guardians that can get you caught up. After woods on the right is pretty thick, sometimes just a pitch out to save your par. Well, as you can see, hole number 17 no longer has a T sign. Must have lost it in a storm or something. This is Florida after all. This hole differs in length, basically, depending on how you play it. There's a gap that's probably 50 or 60 feet wide, 200 feet straight in front of the tee, and another 80 to 100 feet to approach from there. Roughly plays about 300 feet. Or you go off the back half of the tee here. You can use this wide hyzer lane. You're going to need to push somewhere in the 275-ish range and then bank hard left to get another 80, 90 feet to the pin. Let's go. All right, hole 18, one of the most difficult holes on the course in my opinion. 430 feet according to the T sign, 440 according to the rangefinder. It's a par 3, and it looks down this very tight tunnel with a low ceiling. So there's ample landing zones if you can't reach the basket, so it can be very difficult to approach that green with, once again, more guardians and low ceilings. Let's see how I play it. Coming in at just under 6,700 feet with a par of 59, 22nd Street Disc Golf Course will definitely challenge your shot shaping abilities and course management. In order to keep these reviews fair across the board, I'm going to be referencing the U-Disc rating system. They start with upkeep, so that's where we'll start too. On a 0 to 5 scale, I've given 22nd Street Disc Golf Course a 3.5. Reason being, it's Florida and it's hard to keep on top of the grass, so sometimes you can come into ankle, shin high grass and it takes a long time to find your disc even in the wide open. But they do a pretty good job keeping up on it, considering. The next would be fallen limbs and debris from trees. There are a lot of massive oaks, old growth oaks on the property, and they like to shed. And sometimes the course is very clean, and sometimes the same log will be sitting there for weeks at a time. So, once again, they do a pretty good job, but they could do better. As far as trimming the lines on the holes go, it's virtually non-existent. The more the trees grow in, the more difficult the course gets. Next section is shot variety and overall design. I'm going to go ahead and give it a 4 here because this is a very well-designed course, especially for the area that they had to use. It gets you into the woods, but not too much. Some of the holes are very technical and some are very open. You have forehands, pushing hyzers, big spike hyzers, turnover backhands. It really is a wide open bag on most holes as far as what shot you want to throw that you believe you could be most accurate with. Moving right along, we come to tee areas. I'm going to give this section a 4 also. This course has 9 baskets with 18 concrete tee pads, all of which still have good grip even when it's wet outside, most of which have ample run-up space behind the tee pad. They all have enough to get the job done. As far as signage and wayfinding is concerned, I'm going to give this course a 2.5. With the exception of hole 10, the tee signs are all pretty accurate, though there are a few that are sun damaged and one's even missing. As far as wayfinding goes, I highly suggest you download UDisc or you will be wandering around this course all day looking for the next hole. It's pretty difficult to navigate if you haven't been there a few times. And that brings us to amenities, of which there are none. I'm only going to give it 1 star here, which is being generous considering there's no pavilion, there's no picnic tables, there's no practice basket, there's porta-johns, but they are usually really filthy. There's nothing to come here for other than disc golf or baseball. And the last category is scenery or views. And I'm just going to go ahead and give it a 3 here because there's nothing spectacular. There's a neighborhood along one side. There's a river along the other, though you don't really get to see it much because the woods are so thick. There's palm trees, there's old growth oaks, which are nice. They have a lot of Spanish moss hanging from them. But once again, nothing spectacular, but not bottom of the line for sure. All right, so to wrap it up, that gives us 3 stars average over all those categories, which was obviously dragged down by the lack of amenities, but in my eyes, the course design really makes up for that. It offers a lot of different challenges. There's usually wind out in the fields, and it comes through the wood line very sneakily where you don't necessarily see it from the tee pad. And it's a lot of fun to play, and I highly recommend it if you're ever in the area. Thanks for stopping by, everybody.